Welcome to the Ministry Training Series. This is video 2 for the Women's Ministry Training. In this video, we'll be talking about how you can have a great meeting with the women in the villages and also how to prepare for it. I would like to share with you a recipe for a great women's ministry meeting. That recipe takes 7 ingredients. Now, of course, you can choose to use all of them or just some of them, and it's up to you what flow works best for your team as well. You can officially start the meeting by introducing yourself, letting them know your name, your first name only, and then letting your team introduce themselves. Then you can move on to a time of asking questions. Again, it's going to start slowly for them to open up, but you can start asking questions like, what's your village known for? What do you guys do for fun here? What's your favorite thing about your village? Do you have any questions about the US? Do you have any questions for us? These are some questions that will start great conversations. Once you feel like they're comfortable to share, it's time for you to move on to the Bible teaching and discussion time. Some of the great discussion topics would be about marriage, health, hygiene, parenting, or even asking them if they have a Bible or if they know how to study the Bible. For craft time, this is a time that's very special for the women in the villages. They do love to do crafts, and doing that together with the other women in their villages, it's just going to be a time to remember. So if you choose to do that, just remember you need to bring your supplies in your checked bag. If you don't plan to do a craft time, you can move on to the time of testimonies. Now, again, just keep in mind that whatever time it takes to share your testimony, it's going to take double the time with the translation. But this is a time where you can share what God's doing in your life. The people in your team can share what God's doing in their lives. And that can be about your story and how you came to Christ, or that can be about something that you have overcome in your life with the help of Jesus. Maybe grief, heartbreak, something that Jesus has helped you through that the women in the villages can relate. Please check our trainings for more resources in how to share your testimony and how to speak through a translator. Now we've come to the most important part of this meeting, and that's when we share with them about the good news of the gospel. And for that time, we recommend that you use some kind of visual, something that will help them understand and remember. We have a list of resources, and also we have a training for the Evangel if you would like to know more how to use visual resources. You're also welcome to talk to one of our local missionaries in advance and ask them if they would like to do an invitation and give the women the opportunity to invite Jesus to be a part of their lives and to surrender their lives in a prayer, a very simple prayer where they will ask for forgiveness and ask Jesus to be the Lord and Savior of their lives. Now, for the gifts, who doesn't love gifts? Of course, it is optional, but we do have a list in our village supply list. If you would like to bring something specifically for the women that are attending our meetings, we also recommend that you always bring the Bibles that we have on the boat to give for those that do not have Bibles. And before you dismiss them, make sure you let them know if there will be a soccer game with Americans and Brazilians that day, by the end of the day, and if they'll have a collective worship time with the village. Let them know the time and where it is, and make sure you're there so they can see you one more time. Don't forget at the end to thank the women for coming. So, in preparation for your trip before your team leaves, make sure that you review the ideas you have together for that time. Decide if you're going to do crafts and what supplies you're going to need. Make sure you gather all those supplies in advance. Also, if you're bringing gifts, and have them by the packing party. The packing party is a time where your team is going to come together and organize the checking bags. So make sure you have those. You're welcome to involve other people that are praying for you. They're not going but would like to donate, and even your church and the women's ministry in your church. So this is the recipe for a great women's ministry in the villages. If you have further questions, I would encourage you to use all resources. In our website, you're going to find under the tab resources, more resources about ministries in the villages. And also, we have a list of ministry captains where you can find someone that have done this countless of times and they have great experience. And they might be able to help you with any questions you have. Thank you for attending our trainings. Ciao.